section, enhancing relationships.
Focusing in on how we can enhance our relationships with children. The 4 S's, the relationship focused parenting. Being seen, right? Being tuned into the child's needs, the spoken and unspoken, right? Sometimes it takes a little more to be, to take that time to be observant. Safe, build safety with time at home, with family, offering protection and the predictability. Soothe, comfort, comfort by word and action, and secure, connect physically and emotionally in order to build trust. And we recognize that it's not going to happen overnight. There's going to be trial and error, and it's going to take a lot of time in order to build that trust, between yourself and between the youth.
This is another video with the family as well, showing how they've tried to work on this and building the relationships.
Machine?
Да,
Machine?
да,
You want machine?
да.
Okay, it's making noise. Wah! Is that why you're running in? Do you want machine?
No,
Okay, okay, let's go. Come on. Makes a lot of noise.
That was running all the time.
Something must have been tragic with a landscaper or something. Okay, that hole. Here goes.
So thoughts in regards to the video as to what we were able to see.
He validated his fear, but then he also showed him there's nothing to be afraid of. And he showed him that, like, here, I'm here with you to support you. So,
Right, right. And you kind of hit on all the S's, right? Because he was able to talk to him, kind of figure out what was happening, try to explain to him, and not with a lot of words either, right? He was able to be there with him to show him that he was still safe, like putting him on the I think it was a lawnmower, one of those ride-ons. And he was still safe. And in regards to that, they're building that trust that he's still there and available to them. And taking that time. There was no yelling, there was no screaming from the parent. They were able to remain calm.
That clip remind me of my grandson when he was younger, like about 3 or 4. When I used to blend, like say if I put something in the blender and I used to turn it on, he used to run to the screen and run in the bathroom. It was so cute.
And for like this kiddo, like even the dad getting down going, hey, like maybe there was something tragic that happened with either a lawnmower or something maybe it was something loud that has happened before that he was around that reminded him of that. And he soothed him and he gave him even like the little earplugs, something so simple to say, okay, like you want to be on this, but let's do it this way to try to help that. Mhm.
So, relationship promoting activities, what are things that that can be interactive, maximize the senses and involve movement with you and the child?
Mhm.
I'd say do something fun with them. Do something
Mhm.
fun. Maybe get down on the floor and play with them, color with them. You know, um, you can make, make cookies. Just enjoy just simple things together that you can share.
And I would actually ask the child what is something that they enjoy doing, so that
Right.
we're not just doing something because I enjoy it, but we both can, engage in it. And it's even, it shows the child that you're interested in them also when you're asking them, what is something that you like to do? Let's do that.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
For, I just have an example, one of our foster families, there's, a youth, and she kept saying, I want to make my Spanish rice that my grandma made. And my grandma sent me the ingredients. And so foster mom was like, well, let's write all the ingredients down. We'll go to the store. We'll pick it up and you can make it. And it's something that they did together. They grabbed the items. Then when they got back, she made her pot of Spanish rice. They sent me a picture of it. It was cute. I mean, and you can see how, like, I mean, her eyes sparkled when she was talking about it. And then when we did a home visit and she talked about it, you can see just how involved and how, like, she didn't cry, but she was, she was proud of herself that she was able to do it.
Mhm.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to see that that they both were doing that together.
And
Yeah,
when
I feel cooking bring you together with children a lot. Even me being a chef, with my daughter, we did a box cake, and I told her, let's make the box cake. And she got all the ingredients and got everything together, and I said, you're doing it wrong. And she kept, kind of arguing with me, you're not doing it wrong. And I said, now read the directions. And the first thing in the directions was preheat your oven. And she didn't do that. She just looked at the pictures and she was like, oh yeah, I gotta preheat the oven. So even it helps with reading, bonding and a lot of stuff, and doing directions and stuff like that. So I think that's a nice way to bond with the kids.
Absolutely, teaching a skill while making it playful and still interactive. And we forget sometimes that all the activities we do with our kids, we don't always have to spend a bunch of money to do them. Like you could do the simplest, easiest things at home and you can still have fun with one another where you're not going out. Like sometimes people think, okay, I have to go to the trampoline park or I have to go out to, get ice cream or do all these things where you're going to it spends a lot of money, but it doesn't impact as much. It's really about what's going to allow for the bond and the relationship. Even put on some music and have a dance party.
I was just gonna say
You know?
karaoke, but appropriate karaoke music.
Mhm,
Or even doing a puzzle. I like to when I have my grandsons in the summertime, we
mhm,
do a crossword puzzle together, and then they be like, "Grandma, I can't get this word. Help me with this word," and I
mhm.
sit and help find the words.
Yep, absolutely. So awesome. So keeping the relationship first. You guys got a trend yet? We like videos here.
So we've been talking about attachment and all the joyful experiences that you'll be sharing with the child as you build your relationship. But what about the hard times, the times when challenging behaviors come up? We already know that traditional discipline doesn't work with children who've experienced separation, trauma, and loss. They may already be dealing with feelings of shame and worthlessness. So when we take away privileges or put a child in a timeout, we're just reinforcing those negative feelings and piling on more losses. Imagine for a moment that this jar is a child. It's pretty sturdy, but it's made of glass, so it needs to be handled with care. This jar is empty, but when children leave their families and join another family, they're not empty. They bring who and what they're connected to. They come with their personality, their ethnicity, their relationships. They come to us with separations and losses, and often trauma. With your family, the child will continue to be filled with all the good things a nurturing family can offer a child. Day in and day out. So when it comes to discipline, we don't want to risk spilling out any of the good we've been pouring into the child. In fact, we should look at discipline as yet another opportunity to keep filling the child with all the good things that come from your unconditional love and commitment. Using the jar to represent the child, I'm going to describe 3 important things you can do when a child has done something wrong that needs correcting. J is for joining, A is for amends making, and R is for redos. Let me break it down. J for joining means connecting with the child, uniting with them, teaming up with them. It's you and that child against whatever that problem is over there. Joining reminds us to prioritize the relationship with the child above all else. It's really the foundation of all your interactions. So let's say you get a call from school. The 13-year-old boy you're fostering, Jonathan, has been disrupting the class again, and the teacher's really upset. She can't get through her lessons, and the other children are frustrated that there's so much classroom time spent on dealing with Jonathan's behavior.
I really appreciate this call. We will have a discussion about this tonight, and I will email you right away. Thank you.
So to prepare for joining with the child, this parent's going to take a few deep breaths, maybe even have a cup of tea, so she'll be relaxed and calm before talking to Jonathan about his behavior.
You're a good actor, right?
Well, let me
When he
breathe
gets home
before
from
you get in.
school, she pays attention to his posture and his tone of voice and his body language. Is he upset? Is he tired? Is he hungry? Timing is key, because first she needs to make sure his needs are met, then they can talk.
Hey, buddy. I heard you had a pretty rough day today.
It wasn't my fault. That class is pointless anyway.
When they do talk, her voice is calm, her body language is open and relaxed, and she sits with him at his eye level. She's going to make eye contact if it's not too much for him. She's focusing on Jonathan as a person before addressing the problematic behavior, because their relationship comes first. She's on his side and he knows it. When we focus on joining, we're saying 2 things: that the child is not the problem, and that the child is not in the problem alone. Now that these 2 are securely joined, they can work together to address the external problem. A is for amends making. Jonathan's disruptive behavior affected other people, namely his classmates and his teacher. It's a parent's job to help a child make this connection.
Jonathan, I know it was a really hard day for you. I'm sorry. Maybe a little hard on your teacher too? And your classmates? While they were trying to have a discussion?
Yeah.
This is so important because children who've been hurt tend to hurt others. They end up pushing people away when what they really need is their support.
What can we do to make it up to everyone and let them know that you really do care and you want to make it better?
I already said I was sorry.
Sometimes we
Making
have
an
to show-
apology is not the same thing as making amends. Amends making is learning skills to repair and rebuild relationships. Parents can brainstorm with children of all ages about how to make amends in a meaningful way.
talent and make them
The goal is to make it up to the other person.
Well, what do you think you could do that would show them that you want to do better?
I could make them a song.
That's a great idea.
Come in.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, I've only got a few notes down.
Can I hear it?
Yeah.
I know I messed up, and I am so sorry.
That's all I've got so far. Do you think it's dumb?
No, not at all. They're gonna love it. Proud of you. You got this.
Not every problem happens at school, though. Sometimes a problem might come up in the neighborhood or at church. Obviously, not every child can write a song. The goal is to recognize the wrong and make things right. And then to practice better ways to handle similar challenges in the future. Which brings us to the R in JAR. R stands for redo. The child is not the problem is the problem. So the redo is about problem solving and practicing new ways to deal with problems.
You know how you have some trouble sometimes sitting still at school? Well, I've been thinking about it, and I think I have a couple techniques that might help you. You want to try them out?
The problem here is it's hard for Jonathan to sit still in class. So this parent is going to help him in figuring out better ways to deal with the problem, such as doing a few jumping jacks, bouncing on a stability ball, squeezing a stress ball, or using a stretchy band. Remember, children learn best not by talking, but by doing.
Great.
Work with the child's school to arrange for what you've decided can help. Like amends making, the possibilities for redos are endless. They're going to be ongoing, and you're going to reinforce and fine-tune and practice these strategies over time. I hope you'll remember the J, the A, and the R, joining, amends making, and redos. You'll be amazed at the results. Remember that joining is always the foundation for relationship-focused discipline. Because when you protect the relationship and keep relationships with children first, everything gets better. The child's behavior, their sense of self-worth, their ability to calm down on their own, and their ability to keep and form relationships. And what could be more important than that?
Thoughts on the video? Because I know, I heard the chuckles. We've done it too, where we've seen it, where we're like, don't know if the playing a song would actually help, but it's the idea behind it, right? It's about how do we help our young people learn how to make amends and how to increase those relationships with peers around them too when they're struggling.
Oh, yeah. Keeping in mind too, like where are they developmentally? Like he seemed like he was 14 and 15 years old, but he may be more younger.
Older? Oh, younger. Never
Yeah.
mind.
He's a child with special needs.
While he was on the spectrum. I wanted to say, do you remember the fidget spinners? Do anybody remember the fidget spinners?
Yep.
Well,
Them.
in New York, in my daughter junior high school, elementary school, they try to ban the fidget spinners because they said it was becoming disruptive in the class. Like every child had it. But around that time, I don't know, like maybe something was in the water or in the air. Like a lot of children was having anxiety around that time. This is around she was coming out of elementary school and going into junior high school. So it was around, I say, COVID time, maybe, or a little before that.
A little
or
before
that.
when the
No, it
fidgets
was
were
before
big.
that. Yeah, it was before that. But they try to ban the fidget spinners in the school, and I thought it was good.
The
Yeah, and
puppets as well, I remember that too.
Yeah.
Puppets.
And some
Yeah.
of that was around how they were like breaking apart and the pieces were coming apart. So they were worried also for younger kids ingesting some because that became a thing where that was happening too. But there's a lot of counselors who will creatively look at whether it's fidgets or the ones that pop now too, the little pop-it ones or the stress balls to have other tools for the kids to have. And those bands, like they showed in the video, that fidget band that like goes across the bottom seats, that works really well for some of our kids that just can't sit still because it's hard as adults, even when we think about like to say tonight, sitting still to do these videos, to have a discussion, it could be hard. We need breaks and our kids don't get that. The expectation in school is you're going to sit at this desk for 8 hours and we expect you to do your work and be on your best behavior, but it's not realistic for some of their developmental needs and what they need. And those, even something as small as a band can help. Or if you've ever seen the
They
seat
provide those
cushions.
in they provide those for the program that I work in called
Mhm.
Scope, which is primarily directed at kids that are either nonverbal, on the spectrum, maybe have other issues, Down syndrome and so forth,
Mhm.
and cognitive delay.
Mhm.
So they have to learn certain basic things. But those are good, what do you call manipulative? I
Mhm.
forget the word that where
Just
they
have the sensory exposure to it.
and yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. So with
Sometimes,
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Sometimes the teachers in the school need to have classes on tools too, because when the child can be fidgety or can't keep still or whatever, then they become a target. I've seen it. And the teacher would always make it them they fault. Like it's always them when they're not always the problem.
Right.
So it's kind of like they picking on that child.
And the child gets a reaction, and then everybody, the class,
Yeah, and of course they're gonna act out. Yeah, because they feel vindicated. It's not cool.
Mhm. You're right. That does happen a lot of times, and it's part of our role as the parents to also help advocate to make sure that their needs are getting met, that we're using if the child has an IEP or a 504 plan, or even if they don't have it, like that they're getting the services they need in the school during that day. And as you get to know your kids and you get to know what what helps them and what doesn't help them, you can help and be that advocate for them as well. Absolutely.